I've always insisted on context for everything in public discourse, in writing. Yet, when people have asked me to contextualize my work, I've been wholly unable. And this is because I myself have not known what it was I was doing. And I've been doing it a long time, like decades. So it is recently, in the last few years, when I've been through a journey of healing and trauma, that I realized that my work has always been related to healing. So it has always come from a place of suffering, pain, and it wasn't like, I never said, oh, I want to be a poet. I wasn't writing poetry. I just had to write. And this started when I was, 7. So getting that off my chest is quite good because, I would observe other people talking about their poetry and it's like, oh, and I do this. And I was like, nah, man, I don't know what I'm doing. But what I'll tell you now is that there has always been an obsession with language, which comes from my family, which is very literary. My granddad has written like 6 books of Urdu poetry in Pakistan. My granny also wrote, my white granny, she wrote in English. And also just dialect. I loved Urdu as well, which is now taken me back to translation. Second thing, always a desire to touch the transcendent. That's what it's always been. And I think it's still kind of that. So that said, I'm going to begin. This is the only time you'll ever see me read from a screen because I'm a wellness person and nah man. But I have some family here and I want to read this for one of them in particular. And it's going to be an erotoplasty, the next one, erotoplasty 4, so that's cool. This was written in Monaco, where my aunt used to live. Still kind of does. I am not a prose, poem. Visiting places where things remind you of your childhood, minuscule wild strawberries, many tiny seeds that crunch in your mouth, the image of them, a memory of the excitement of discovering something to be plucked and possessed and possibly eaten when you too were wee like the berries. In Monaco, the surreal is apparent in everything, in all aspects, in the confluence of dramatic, natural monuments and assiduously built levels and levels of concrete nestling eerily in the midst of the wild azurite sea and jagged coast, natural opulence and man-made ornamentation compete. The sculptures are testament to this. Everyone knows they are living in a surreal-esque window, the window frame massive and empty to frame Monaco or Monte Carlo from afar, placed carefully upon La Roque is testament to this. La Musée Oceanographique is a Raymond Rousseau example of architecture perched as it is built into the cliff, a mammoth repository in which to house the fruits and vegetables of the sea. The Monaco Cathedral, built with stones from natural La Tourbie nearby, where a princess was recently married. We lit a candle to St. Nicholas. Did we pray to the Father of Christmas? Adorning the corridors, prayer stations to other saints, devotees, and also Christ. Further down the corridor, the buried dead of the Famille Royale, as if to say, we built here, we lived here, we loved here, and here in the heart of our opulent fantasy, we die and are entombed. At the surrealist peak, which is the cathedral, an absurdist fantasy, and their graves the perfect icing on the absurdist cake of hope. and glory. If you look up, you see la tête de chien. It is always possible to see the head of the dog from any aspect on the ground, everywhere. You look, although I wonder who first saw the dog in the cliff and why they saw a dog and not a dragon or a cat or a gooseberry. La tête de José Maquereau would work just as well. I get particularly enamored of a Giorgio de Chirato sculpture in the Jardin Exotique, where a faceless knight, shielded by his helmet, consoles a faceless woman, her face buried in his shoulder. It feels like a moment very rare that I will never see in this lifetime. The other sculptures are equally compelling, their placement perfect. A naked woman holding a hand mirror out to the side, looks straight into it. Strange bronzed children sitting alone. Another naked woman whose exposed back you see as you approach the nook where she sits looking forever out to the sea, her hips perfectly formed. The festive paper butterflies mangled in barbed wire just outside the casino. I realize I have been searching for the vivid magenta of Bougainville. Half here, I am half not here, but in another place. I have been transported to my childhood, and I am a child in Karachi by houses cloaked by Bougainville, but here there is no Bougainville. Okay, that's the screen poem. So let's link in from Karachi into Karachi. Yeah? So Karachi is a sad city. I love it, but it's basically disappearing into the ground. It's just nobody looks after Karachi. It's dying. This was published in an Indian anthology. Karachi. 3 heads, also a lot of violence, sectarian violence. Karachi. 3 heads float on a bridge. Careening motorcyclist cutting into space between chaos is your thought. This one and the next are both you. This city at sunset, a blistering calm boils over. The haze in the air is your vision. The dirt specks thick float, a mask you are wearing already, blackbirds only, crows only. Today is the birthday of your life. Flailing deep in your black sense sockets, a hostage you held it close, hoping you could rob it blind. Imagine peace is a throbbing metropolis of sentient machines, and concrete is a healing mineral to cool your cheek against. The accidents of traffic are your talismans. The killing field on the bridge is your pain manifesting itself. Memory trails a lingering aroma of smoke and perfume. She leaves the room. She enters the room. You love her as she rides bareback astride trains, rattling past your bedroom window like the scuttling of bones in a gravedigger's sack, or all the saucepans falling off the kitchen shelf in the middle of the night. A bang is louder, a bomb is heard everywhere, even if it isn't a bomb, or rather the soft mewing of the dead kitten that lives under the stairs amongst the trash. This is who you are, Karachi. A mutant rat grown to the size of a chihuahua. A man singing a blue note into his megaphone 5 times a day. Allahu Akbar. To you, we blow kisses and wait petulantly for the wind to grow cool and gastroenteritic flowers to blossom like polyps from our behinds. That's a reference to the fact that your stomach will go bad if you go to Karachi. Or India. That's just what it's like. Okay, so I've done a lot of origination stuff, so I'm gonna not do that now. That wasn't the cue. All right, let's do this one. So I really like this idea of heartwood, which is like this core of the tree, which is called heartwood. Especially in the sandal tree, I think, sandal. Okay, this is kind of lovey. All right, heartwood. So let us suppose there is no Orpheus, there is no Eurydice, just you and I. Orpheus, I Eurydice. And who is leading whom out of the underworld? Love cat, I don't know. But forever and a day, I will be loving your soul in any body you're in, on any plane of existence you're on. And I become you, only you become I, we, them. Thou art that. The golden arrow lands, and I must read you, your skin, your brow, your fingertip. The spectrum of change is so vast, nothing lasts ever, except in the spaces in between my space. Today, perfection in the stillness of each molecule of motion, in the heat, it is possible to love with no sudden moves as the lizard does. So in love with the blazing moment, he appears to be not breathing. When we were trees, you and I, we were one. We were the one immaculate heartwood. We are fine. We are good. We are great, in fact. It's just this body bleeding out to the universe. You, witch, you. This is quite intense. I might do that last. Okay, so this is fun. It's for my daughter Sakura, who is 6, who I've raised as a mostly solo parent. It's been fucking hard. But she's 6 now. So. In utero. In the dark significance you lie, trading blood for blood with me, and imagining you. Now flesh covers your bird frame, bones of air apparate. You are forming, gaining ground on this existence, a stranger in our midst, shadowing me, unseeing, but you can hear warbles, pulses, rhythmic through the clouds above you. Like I hear you, buried beneath blubbery layers, fluttering, tapping like a woodpecker. My skin cells part further as you discover yourself, quickening, gathering your armies of anima, atman, universum, as you prepare for your emergence. And when the clouds do part for you, twinkle, you're a star. Okay, so yeah, I have a bunch of books, 4 books coming out, and honestly, it's a good time to say that that represents the 1.5 years that my daughter finally went to school. Yeah? Like, for real. Like, it was not possible. So that stuff is from Love Like Blood, I think. And so now we're going to get into some languagey stuff. I'm just going to read this little quote from Bakhtin, which I've always loved. Language lies on the borderline between oneself and the other. The word in language is half someone else's. It becomes one's own only when the speaker populates it with his own intention, his own accent, when he appropriates the word, adapting it to his own semantic and expressive intention. Prior to this moment of appropriation, the word does not exist in a neutral and impersonal language, but rather it exists in other people's language. So, Anatomy of a Car Crash after my homeboy J.G. Ballard. I'm a huge sci-fi person. And there's no amount of me reading you my work that will ever give you, you won't know how, I write so many different ways. It's a bit weird. What is the skeins of, strains of, like grafted on the table? What is the tiniest something in your eye all night and into the next day? A searing vestibule and you are listening? Hold it right there, taxonomy. There are jumper cables for the erudite and less engaged of space. A perpetual sniffling sitting next to the Sikh at the bus stop. Shibuki avenger, crumple my walls, hold a carnival in my wake. One man's jaw drops is another's flagrant ember clasp. Prying finger prick, pyre of glass peas fell from his pocket and covered the highway, stretched as far as the open mind. Rides again a parsnip, a junket river of celery glass. River ribbons, inscribe it song, be bones like grit true. Okay. Spring, this is hashtag Spring Aspie Remix. So I recently discovered I had a sort of late diagnosis type thing. Yeah, so it explained a lot about my life, and that's why I use the word Aspie, because, yeah. Spring Aspie Remix. Little nature guises off. Today, snowdrops. I got a message from snowdrops. Assalamu alaikum, snowdrops. Then someone else said snowdrops. Two slow, lumbering animals facing each other in the sky. One steps forward, one back. It's so gentle some days. When your vibe starts jamming with your vibe, starts jamming with your vibe, starts jamming with your face, starts jamming with your face, starts jamming with your face, your face, your face. Today snowdrops, tomorrow snowdrops, today snowdrops, today, tomorrow snowdrops, today snowdrops, today your face, today snowdrops, tomorrow your face, today snowdrops. Shouting out, snowdrops. I'll secure my account later, bitch. Your payment has been declined. All right. How are we doing for time? You all right? All right. Okay, then I'm going to read. Yeah? Okay. Chill, yeah. Okay. This one's a bit. Okay, I don't know. I think, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's do This Is Fun. This is a fun one. I was thinking of all the Barbie dolls I had when I was little, and they were all like, you know, none of them were diverse. It was very strange growing up in Pakistan with all these like, you know, Caucasian Barbie dolls. And now my daughter, like, I strive for diversity in the doll house. I was on like eBay looking for like Indian Barbie, only because everyone should be represented, right? But I don't know, it never affected me. But anyway, I was thinking about Barbie dolls, whatever. Girl child of the 80s. Freeze frame, screen kiss, hot heads under silent wigs. That's from Bauhaus, she's in parties. Twisty furled, yellow ball, put on throat, clunk foot, migisi face. Matt plays the drums. I put my necklace on, like Barbie. I sit pink and delicious. Rock star, angel face, bridal, dream glow, peaches and cream. My first twirly curls. I had them all. Those were the names of the Barbie dolls. Magic girl, I am 'em all. Butterfly chair, pomegranate lair, eye is spent, I lose my hair, like crayons in a box of crayons, lined up, each color, I line up. Freeze fry, fist dried, firstborn, unborn child, eyes cries, I crack up, I cat, I bat, fruit. Maybe I'll just finish with this. Oh, this is kind of fun, isn't it? Nah. Okay. So I read another fun one, and then I'll finish with this one. Okay. This was in Data Bleed. A lot of the stuff in Love Like Blood is sort of about this sort of social media download of us, like our consciousnesses and all this like language we use, like hashtags, and not just hashtags so much. So Ida Hexe. Hexe means witch in Austrian. Full moon, banana bread proxy, hanging out of windows, garnish, resistance, petroleum. Resistance, stay away from strong moons. And when I die, I will die with memories of things you said on Facebook that I chuckled at, or things that you left me, a crying emoji at that thing I said when I was dying of heartbreak. And they will be real memories, because they were felt, things related to the felt impression of your energy, even if it was from the past, and even if I haven't seen you in, say, 5 years, they are not virtual. Real memories. They are real memories of you who are real, are you not? So don't tell me I have no friends and I shouldn't live my life on social media, because social and media are both words. What they mean is life, right? There is life. There is no life without the livingness and the vitalityness and the nowness and the I'm here-ness and the I'm here nowness, hashtag the hashtag, and the vitalness. I said vitality. So, okay. Last one. This was commissioned for an anthology, and they gave us this very vague sort of alchemical thing. They were like, oh, go write a poem about alchemy. And I don't know, I got really into it, and I did all this research. And I found out about this sort of, because I saw this very frightening movie about the Paris catacombs a few years ago. I don't know if anyone's seen it, you should look it up, it's frightening. And then I found out about this Parisian artist called Lazard, who does all this like art in the catacombs, and so I just loved his name. So this is called Nekia, which is like a Nekia is like a journey underworld of the cataphiles. Part 1, Paris, France. Wandering in the city anointed of light, she a star of the screen illuminated in perpetuum, in celluloid, developed a fondness for the blackness of darkness each twilight. To flee the violent sizzle of electricity, she descends into l'Empire de la Morte, to be with the cool stone passageways harboring the discarded 6 million dead. 93 days sleeping above, 93 nights she charters the black seas of the catacombs when he appears, Lazard paint. If you search through these catacombs, you will find the gate to hell. You lie, Lazard. Hell is other people. You are blackening Etoile. I know. Part 2, Vioto, which is like blackness, darkness. Thought, you, void, a, you, void, thought, a, void, thought, you, a, void. A void is black. Imagined, imagined, you imagined, light, figures of. This is darkness, visible. Part 3, Alamogordo, New Mexico. A snow of sugar bleached and piled atop powdered teeth, dunes vignetting dunes. The other white is bone, the transcendent bone, the earth calcified into structure, holding you, flapping flags of meat interwoven with muscle, without which bags of sheer liquid. We are all a flow state, all a state of flow. Here in this state we are in the white, the sands white of Alamogordo. The painted lizard emerges from the sands, first his head a burst, raging color on this surface immaculate. Lazard paint turns to white, a cameo against the sands. Part 4, woman disappears from catacombs. This is all in italics. Etoile, you finally lost your way, where so many fail. I am here, the Red King. but for the blood lizard, the chambers are empty. See how the clouds too turn to red for this, our chemical wedding. Thank you.